In this lesson, we are going to be building the website interface. Till now, we have tested that our database is working and its integration with the Diallo is also working fine through NoCode API. So, coming to the website part, here we are going to be building the header, then the data statements bar where we are going to be building these toggle switches, and the lists which are styled like these. For that, you have to delete the previous list from this place, and here we are going to be adding a placeholder which we are going to say it is an image. We're going to extend it to the nearly the middle of the screen, and we are going to be using a custom image from Unsplash. I'm going to copy its image address and paste it in the image source. After our image has been placed, we can see that it is showing okay. So that place a text button here. Right. Find your favorite no-code tools. Change its styling. Change its font's color. And then we're going to add a button, add to the knowledge. Delete. We're going to change the background to white, and we're going to reduce the height of the image a little, bring it closer to our header, and we are going to be adding a plain black overlay on top of the image. Give it a black color, and with this black we are going to be reducing the transparency. Okay, and in the components we want this to come up, and our favorite tools button also should be coming up. Okay, you can see our header is now ready. The next part we're going to be making the status bar. For that we are going to increase the height of the screen a little, and here we are going to be adding a simple text box saying showing all items. We're going to be updating this counter later once we have connected our database. Then we are going to be adding two buttons. These should be icons. Change the icon to bars, list. Okay, and we're going to be adding another icon. Copy paste it, place it just beside this button, and change the name to boxes stack. Okay, so we have these two buttons, and with these three placeholders we are going to convert them into a group so that they should be falling at the center of the screen. Same should we be doing with this header text, and after that we're going to be adding the lists below. Okay, to make our list, first of all we are going to be adding a simple vector. It should fall here like this. Inside the vector we are going to be adding our image, and after the image we are going to be adding the logo of the card. Then there is another text placeholder, one two three four text placeholders. For that we are going to be adding these four text placeholders here. 1 2 3 4, and in the image we are going to be adding the logo. Okay, this should be a little bigger in size. Then this should be the tagline. It is fine. It is a little dimmer, and here comes the basic plan. Okay, we need to add another button which takes us to the card's website. For that we are going to be adding another button. Place it over here and give it open, change its color, remove the background, give it a border. The border's color should be a little lighter, and after that we should have our list card ready. But before we make it functional, we have to click on make it a list and bring it to the center. Once it is in the center of the screen, we are going to be starting to make these images or URLs or placeholders linked with our database. For that we are going to say it is a list of demo, and in the demo it is the current demos. Okay, so we have the thumbnail full URL here. Then we have to place the logo. In the logo, go to logo URL. In the text we are going to delete the text and change it to current demo's name, and in the description we are going to change it to the tagline. Next, here comes the basic plan, and in enter text we have the current demo's basic plan text. Okay, our lists are now ready. We want to make it little rounded in the corner. For that we are going to make it to 4 pixel. So we have added a little rounded edges to each card. Alright, this toggle button is not yet functional. We will make it functional once we know our code is working. Okay, if you click on the share button, you can see that our website is now functional. Perfect. We're going to be closing it again, and next we are going to add the functionality where we can add the toggle switch, and this toggle should be showing the two kinds of lists together. For that we are going to be constructing a new list. That new list starts just below this existing card. It has to have an image, and this image should have 3-4 things with it. To make this image and the card, we are going to be adding a new image with it. This is the logo. Then we're going to add a text placeholder here, another text placeholder that is going to carry our category. Okay, we are now working on this part, that when we click on this toggle switch, it should open these cards in this kind of format. For that, we need the icon, the name of the app, and the builder, and the image, the cover image behind it. Okay, so first of all, we are going to be giving it we are going to be converting it into a list. Make it a list, and we're going to say that it should have 4 columns, and if it has 4 columns, it should be stretched all along the screen. Its size should be a little smaller so that they do not overlap each other, and the image should be a URL, and this URL, first make sure that your list is connected to the collection. We have now connected it to the demo collection. After that, give your image the current demos URL. Okay, delete this part. I think this is the third last here. Okay, URL. Connect your logo with the current demos logo URL. Here, change the text to the name of the app. Increase its size a little, and in the category we are going to be adding the text. This text is actually the category of our app. Make it category, and now we are going to see if our app is functional or not. And once both lists are loaded, we should be able to. Alright, so our lists are loaded fine, but these should be stretched to the edges of the screen, and these are too much crowded or too much noisy. To reduce the noise, we are going to be adding an overlay on top of it. But before that, we have to make these toggle buttons functional. So to make these toggle buttons functional, we are going to add some conditioning to this app. To add the conditioning, we will be needing an input field. We can select it from form fields, click on text input, place it anywhere, change it to box, and we are going to be adding a conditioning that when its value is box, we should not be showing this list, and we should be showing this list. In fact, for that, we are going to be clicking on this 3 dotted button on the right top, change it to sometimes visible. It will be visible when forms input field, we have only one input, so we can go to form inputs, and we are sure that this is the same input which we just placed over here, is equal to list. So when it is list, the value of this input, then we are going to be showing the list here. But when it is the box, then we are going to be showing this list number 2. For that, change it to sometimes visible. Form inputs is equal to box. Click done. So when we have this box placeholder place here, we are going to be having that list build the list number 2, and we have, when we have the text list written in this box, we are going to be having this list number 1. Let's try it. Okay, so we have box written in the input field, and if we want to change it to list, we have to write list over here. So you can see that it's very easy to add any kind of conditioning through input fields. But for now, we know that when it is box, we have the boxes. When it is list, it should be showing the list. We are going to connect this input field with these 2 toggle switches. First, these 2 are very close to each other. We're going to give the little space between them, and this is the list placeholder. Going to add an action, change input value. The only input on the field is showing up here. We're going to change its value to list. When we click on this button, it is going to change the value of this input field to list. And when we are going to click on the boxes, it is going to change the input value to box. Okay, so this is how our input field is functional. We can refresh it and test if it is working. Okay, click on the box, we have the box here. Click on the list, we have the list underneath. Alright, you can see that it's very easy to add any kind of conditioning. Now we are going to hide this input value. We know it is placed over here. We are going to throw it back behind our image. And now our users should not be able to see the input field here. Okay. Next is this input should not be having they should not be stacked very close to each other. For that we are going to increase the size a little and make sure these are stretched with very less padding between left and right sides of the body, and try to refresh it. Okay, now we can see that these cards are stretched end to end, but they're still very noisy. To reduce the noise, we are going to be adding an overlay on top of it. For that, we are going to add a simple vector. Make sure that this is placed on top of it. Should be going back. Bring one step forward to hide the overlay. Change its color to black and change its opacity to something smaller that we can only feel there is something on the back of it. And after that we are going to be adding the image should have a background of white, so that our logos, if they are transparent, they should not be mixing up with the background. Now click like the bubble logo is mixing with the background. If we refresh it, okay, so we can see that our apps are showing fine here, but there is the text color, it is mixing up with the background. To change its color, we are going to go on its formatting, change its color to white, it is now white, and now we should be sure that our app is working fine. Okay, so if we change it to list, if we change it to box, it is toggling fine. We need to add a button here that takes us to the website of this app. For that we are going to be adding a button. And change it to open. Change its color to white and add an action that when a link is clicked, it is going to take it to a website. The website is Crunked Demos website. So when we are going to click on this button, it is going to actually take us to the website. So same here, we have to make it a website. It should be taking us to Crunked Demos website. Click done, and this screen should also be working okay. For that, refresh if all these things are working okay. Okay, we can see that there is some clipping at the bottom of fewer cards, like this image is not perfectly placed on top of it. So for that we are going to reduce the image size and increase the overlay height, and we are going to change this total count. How we are going to do it, we are going to be clicking on this button here and click on 12, delete it, go to this place. We're going to go to demo count and X items. So you can go to demo, the collection, and count. It is going to count all our documents which are located in the demos collection. Okay, so after this is done, we are going to be increasing the height of our image. We're going to be making sure that these two lists are stacked together. There is no spacing between them, because when this list is hidden, it is going to maintain the same height level over here, as the previous list after we have toggled our list view. So let's test it once again. It should count all the cards. Okay, we have 23 items in our database. We can see that all the clippings have been removed, and if we want to change the list view, we can change it as well. Okay, in this lecture we learned how to build a front page or a very simple static page that is showing up our list as we want it on the front page of our website. And in the next lecture we are going to be learning that once we click on this card, it should be opening the descriptive page of this product. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.